Welcome to the Israel Answers series, connecting Israel, the Bible, and you. Join Susan Michael as she explores timely issues and current events from a scriptural perspective to equip the Christian world with a balanced and biblical response. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes, which will ignite your faith and bring the Bible to life in your everyday world. Now, let's join Susan with your Israel Answers.
Welcome to today's Out of Zion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Susan Michael, and I have with me today a longtime and very good friend, Rabbi Shmuel Bowman. Now, we've had Rabbi Bowman on the program a couple of times before, and he's talked about his personal story, how he grew up, was raised to appreciate Jewish-Christian relationship and dialogue, and we've also talked about the importance of Jewish roots of Christianity. And so I encourage you to look up those previous interviews. As we have him here today, we won't go over the same information. So Shmuel, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's great to see you.
Sharing with us.
Thank you.
So you're the executive director of Operation Life Shield, and we have been very close partners in Israel. We have placed, you can tell me, over 250 bomb shelters.
Yes.
And in vulnerable communities, we place them on school playgrounds, near bus stops, community centers, out where people are in danger if a missile starts to come in or a rocket. And you've been our partner with that. You are the one that has actually ordered and produced the bomb shelters, and you've helped us to find the right locations for them. And so we've worked together so closely for how many years now?
This is our 20th year.
20th year. And we consider you the rabbi for the ICEJ.
Great honor.
In Jerusalem. And you've helped us in so many ways. You've guided us in our relationship with the people of Israel. You've guided us in our projects and our ministry. And so you really are part of the ICEJ family. And we thank you for being with us today. Tell us a couple of the more recent projects that we've done together and how it has been such a blessing to the people of Israel.
Right. So this partnership that we've had now going into year 20 is really rooted in three pillars. And that's the pillar of our close relationship with the security chiefs of all the regions and other municipalities in Israel. I would not be exaggerating in the least if I told you that I'm in touch with at least one security chief on a daily basis. So over the course of the week or the course of the month, we really get a survey of what's going on, and they're able to respond to us and let us know exactly what the real needs are on the ground without going through any bureaucracy, without going through anything political. What's needed? Okay, so that's the first pillar. The second pillar is with the actual manufacturers. We have a very close relationship with a number of suppliers. And as a result of that, we actually jump the list. We're at the top of the list. We even take precedence over the Ministry of Defense.
Wow.
Has a lot to do with paying our bills on time. It seems to make a difference. As a result, we're able to get shelters and other projects out as fast as possible. And of course, the third pillar is our relationship with you. The relationship with International Christian Embassy Jerusalem means that, as you say, we could be your eyes and ears in Israel. And that feedback, I'm in touch with your representatives. I'm in touch with Nicole Yoder, a vice president of Aid and Aliyah, probably on a daily basis. So there's that feedback that's going on. Two projects that come to mind that ICJ USA has been involved with most recently has to do with, believe it or not, waterproofing underground bomb shelters in the northern city of Shlomi. This is, you can look it up on the map, it's right on the border, and I mean right on the border with Lebanon, which means you've got Hezbollah rocket fire there.
You can see Hezbollah.
You can see it, absolutely, right? You could actually take your phone and you can actually, they'll say, you see that tree over there? What to the edge? Like, oh my God, there's, this is an area that has been a punching bag for Hezbollah. And it's not a wealthy town. It's an immigrant town. You've got Ethiopian Jews, Russian Jews, Ukrainians who've escaped war-torn Ukraine come to Shlomi, only to be under attack from Hezbollah. And what we found was that the underground bomb shelters were also going to be very, very important besides the above ground ones. But you know what? Water, it turns out, is the enemy of an underground bomb shelter. And once the moisture gets in there, you can't be in there. And amazingly, and this is, I mean, I can't begin to express how the gratitude, especially a lot of the older Ukrainian and Russian Jews who don't have anywhere to go. And now they've got bomb shelters that have been waterproofed. It's very funny as a rabbi, I never thought I'd ever wind up in the business, never mind bomb shelters, but waterproofing bomb shelters. Lives have been saved, peace of mind and comfort. The other project is in Khorfish. This is a Druze village, again, right on the border with Hezbollah. These are Druze. Druze are an offshoot, actually, of Islam. They are big lovers of Israel. They all serve in the army. They're amazing, amazing people. And yet, during the war with Hezbollah, they did not evacuate their community. They stayed strong and they say, okay, we're not leaving. They came under a very heavy rocket attack when most of the other communities evacuated, people went elsewhere. So ICJ USA placed a number of bomb shelters in locations on the street, by bus stops, also by a school as well. And the really cool thing about it as well is the murals that were painted on those shelters are just lovely. They have the Israeli flag and the Druze flag. And it just has this great message. So when people come along, they go, this shelter was donated by Christians in the United States to Druze in Israel. I think God's smiling on this.
Oh, well, the Druze are such a special people because they are a minority in Israel. As you said, they're an offshoot of Islam. But they are so loyal to the state of Israel. And they really deserve to be blessed. And they are there. They're living proof every day. Israel's not an apartheid state. Israel's not racist. They are not anti-other religions. Here's this minority that is really, I love going to their restaurants or their food and seeing it with my own eyes. And so it's wonderful. And also, during the Hezbollah rockets that were coming in, or missiles, there was a terrible
drones.
And there was a terrible incident in a Druze village with a soccer field. Tell us about that. And I'm sure you did something.
Yeah.
We placed a shelter in that community, I think, after that.
This is in Majdal Shams. This is in the Golan. This is a purposeful direct attack by drones at a soccer field with children. I mean, you want to talk about a war crime that hasn't been even talked about.
And Hezbollah knew what they were doing.
They're
right there. They could see. They knew what they were doing. It wasn't an accident.
The technology that they're using, the weaponry they're using, actually has optics. They're able to see what's going on. They're able to actually identify. These things aren't coming, in terms of the usual trajectory of a rocket. These things are fishing around, and they're locking in, and they're committing this atrocity. ICJ responded the same day. There was no daylight between the attack and the response. And I think what's important to really mention, Susan, is that the response by the ICJ was twofold. We want to make sure your children are protected, but we also want to show we're standing with you. Well, I want you to know that even though the entire world wants to kind of whitewash this and just kind of, little accidents happen. No. While Israel's being Israel's being prosecuted in the court in The Hague for war crimes, this sort of thing is excused. And let's not forget who the main sponsor of Hezbollah is. It's Iran. So someone in Iran is making a decision and saying, go after them.
Yes.
ICJ stood there and said, we're standing with you, not alone.
So in your 20-year history of doing this means that you were working in all of those communities along the Gaza border for 18 years, right? Before the attack on October the 7th, 2023. That means they were your friends. You knew them very well. I can't imagine the pain of that day because you lost people that you knew very well. You saw people injured that you knew, people taken hostage that you knew. And the ICEJ, through you, we had been active in that area for 10 years before the attack. And we knew a lot of those same people. And the first registered fatality that day was the security chief, Ophir Lipstein, right?
Yeah. The mayor of Sharhanega.
And he had been with the ICEJ Christians just 36 hours earlier when we did a solidarity event there in the Gaza border region. And so tell us just briefly the pain of that day for you and what it meant for you.
Right. We went from October the 5th, where we had 600 Christians on the border. I mean, I had a group of a few hundred at Kibbutz Nativa Sarah. We were at something called the Wall of Peace, putting prayer tiles on that wall. That wall, 2 days later, would be breached, and 19 members of that community, some of them Holocaust survivors, would be massacred.
Wow.
Okay, so that sense of disbelief is one level of shock. Yeah, I mean, on October the 7th, I pulled up my phone and WhatsApped and text messaged my friends. As I mentioned before, our first pillar is that I'm in touch with our security partners on a daily basis. How are you? What's going on? And many didn't respond. And of course, we don't know what's going on. There's a crisis, but we understood after a while. I lost 12 friends. 12 of my friends were murdered on October the 7th. 9 of them were security volunteers and personnel. But one of them, Livnat Kutz was, Livnat Kutz was an educator, a teacher, and she was teaching children who had PTSD on how to do well in school using all sorts of artistic methods. And the ICEJ had donated the shelter in that facility, in her facility, in order so that she was murdered along with her husband and her children in their bedroom. And I have other friends who, I have a friend who was taken hostage, and his father, Jonathan Deckelchen, a very, very dear friend of mine, we would be in touch on a regular basis and pray together and talk together. And just as one example, I remember he likes to go for falafel. So we go to falafel just at a regular, ordinary street falafel place. He's an ordinary guy. I'm an ordinary guy. And I said to him one day, this is while Sagi, his son, was told captive. I said, Jonathan, you need to understand something. I'm sorry if I'm distracted. You need to understand what's going through my mind right now. What's going through my mind right now is I'm thinking, how do I get you from my car to where your son is? Because we're going to get that call now. Like now is when he will be redeemed. Now. And what's going through my mind are the steps. How do I get you to my car swiftly but safely and get you to where the army needs you to go? And he was silent for a little while. And then I said, I hope that's okay what I said to you. He said, Shmuel, that is the kind of very practical help that I need to hear. Not, I hope you're doing okay and let me know what you need and blah, blah, blah. You have a plan.
Yeah.
You have a plan right now of how we're going to go from here to there, because at any moment, Sagi's coming out. That's what the ICJ does. The ICJ is unique. The International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem, is unique in that it's not, we talk, right? Prayer has to have feet and hands, okay? And it's one thing to say, I'm praying for you and I'm thinking about you and just let me know, give me a call. ICJ comes along. You know what we're going to do? We're putting in shells. You know what we're going to do? We're putting firefighter shells. You know, we're putting in defibrillators. Okay? We're going to say that we're coming in, we're doing it. People are like, and so what's the number one response of Israeli leaders? Shock. And when I say to them, why are you so shocked? And their answer is, no one has this.
Oh, wow.
We're not used to this. We're not used to this. You're coming along with tangible, here you go, pictures of Nicole and I handing out, a first responder kits. They're like, no one does this.
Yes. Well, Shmuel, you are a Orthodox Jewish rabbi and Torah scribe.
Yeah.
So you have a love for the Word of God, and you know it as well as anyone. And I want you to share, you, not only for 20 years have you been a part of practical assistance and security, but you've been witness to a growing relationship between Jews and Christians. And I'd love to hear your perspective on what you've observed and what that's like.
So first of all, it's a great honor on many occasions to actually represent the ICJ. And so I show up, I mean, I'm kind of visibly Jewish, and I show up sometimes to a synagogue or to a religious Orthodox Jewish school, and I put up the dedication plaque and I say, "This is donated by Christian," and they look at me like, can we discuss how? And it's an honor to be able to discuss that. This relationship is very, very important, and it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. As you yourself have taught in your books, the history of Christian anti-Semitism is long and deep and painful, and that's I'm gonna put a period on that. And the next thing is now how do we create a new a history going forward?
Yeah.
How do we take what happened and how do we move forward? And that's the work. And it's sometimes slow, sometimes fast, but it's an important. We are literally at a watershed right now, and I think very often Christians and Jews need to decide right now: are we going backwards or are we going forwards? And we've talked about this before. We're in a Zechariah moment. You look at the book of Zechariah, and actually, for Jews, we actually read Zechariah when? On Sukkot.
Oh.
Okay, we actually read it on Sukkot because that's when the nations are gathering in Jerusalem. Those are the ones who are gathering.
And celebrating Sukkot.
Yes. But there's a lot of other nations that are not celebrating, and they're coming against Israel. Go look at the book of Zechariah. It don't end well for them.
That's right.
Okay? This is that watershed moment when the nations and the Jewish nation need to decide which way are we going. Are we going to do this as partners, or are we going to do this as enemies? Nothing is new under the sun. Right. We're literally living the words of the prophet
that were written 3,500 years ago, some 3,000 years ago, and it's exactly what's taking
place. Word for word. And as a Torah scribe, it's really kind of poetic because I take out my my pen, and it's a quill, and I'm writing on parchment with black ink, and you're writing the word of God, you're writing, and you're looking at, and I'm reading this and going, I just feel like I'm writing something
about today.
Yeah,
for the newspaper.
Yes, this is the news flash. Guess what?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, at the ICJ, when we first started celebrating Sukkot, we were very clear, we still are, we're not the fulfillment of Zechariah. That hasn't happened yet, but we're practicing for it, and we're getting the nations ready for it. I believe that with my whole heart, and it's no coincidence that God birthed the ICEJ at the Feast of Tabernacles in 1980, because with everything else that we do so much, but at the heart of our calling is to prepare the nations to come up to Jerusalem to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. And that means more than our little event. That means be prepared for the fulfillment of prophecy and for history. And we see we're getting so close to those days as the nations of the world are lining up either for or against. And little bitty Israel is at the center of world attention, and it's become so controversial for the nations of the world, but yet is a rallying point for Christians and those that will align with her. And so to see that from your vantage point as a Torah scribe, and to see that, it must be fascinating.
Well, this is why, just like I had said to my friend Jonathan, as that feeling came over to me, the time is now. It's happening now. As you say, the preparation is happening now. And people have a choice whether they want to be part of the preparation or not.
And I, from my vantage point, I've been around many more than 25 years or 20 years. I've seen the development of Jewish-Christian relations over the decades. It's gone through stages. But what we see happening today blows my mind. And I'm here in the United States. Just last year, we did it the first time in May. We're doing another advocacy day. It's looking like we may have 500 to 600 rabbis, pastors, and Jewish and Christian leaders. This is not grassroots. These are leaders coming together because the relationship is so important. For some of them, it's the first step in beginning a relationship, and others have been at it for years like myself. And then to spend the day on Capitol Hill making the case for Israel together, Jews and Christians, rabbis and pastors, it's actually life-changing for some.
Oh, absolutely.
And to see that the relationship now is getting to the level of the clergy, is between the rabbis and the pastors, that tells me it's very real, and we've come a long way. We still have a way to go, but we have come such a long way, and you've been a part of that. You invited rabbis last year. You couldn't be there yourself. I hope you can come and be a part of it.
You want me there, I'll be there.
Yes, and but to see that, it's definitely God, and we see darkness spreading around the world. We see troubles and hardship, but that doesn't stop God. Isaiah 60 says, actually, it's in a time of darkness that He's bringing His children back to the land. He's bringing the wealth of the Gentiles up to the Jerusalem. He's busy rebuilding Zion. So we just have to, in a way, ignore the darkness.
We have to ignore it, Also, the psalmist, King David, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, he would say, "Do not fear the terror by night or the arrows that fly by day." So it's very, very interesting because if you think about it, do not fear, it's an imperative. Now I can understand an imperative that says keep kosher, keep Shabbat, give to charity. But when you're commanded by God, don't fear, how do you stop someone not fearing? And I think the answer is that when we do come together, when we see this level of partnership happening between Jewish and Christian religious leaders, there's a conversation that's taking place that is saying, there's no need for fear. There's no need for fear. We're following God's script.
That's right.
And I think that's what's going on.
That's right.
So we are living in amazing times. Yeah.
Well, Rabbi Bowman, thank you so much for spending time with our audience today and to sharing that inspiration. We so value you and our partnership and our friendship. So thank you.
It's an honor.
Thank you. So thank you so much for joining today. And please check out the show notes for more information on Operation Life Shield and our projects together. And maybe you can help us place another bomb shelter in a vulnerable community. So God bless. Hey, just give me one more minute. I want to offer you one of our free resources. We have wonderful resources in our show notes. And if you go to our website at icejusa.org/show notes, you'll find links for a number of our free offers. We have downloadables to help root you in Scripture, help you to understand the issues surrounding Israel, and the importance of Christian support for Israel. And don't forget, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and stay connected. Thank you, and God bless.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Out of Zion with Susan Michael. Be sure to subscribe to Out of Zion now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Pray.com, Salem One Place, Salem Life Audio. Out of Zion with Susan Michael is a production of ICEJ USA. All rights reserved.